John Drayton purchased this property in 1738. We think he started constructing sometime soon thereafter, and they're probably moving into the house at the end of the 1740s, maybe early 1750s. This house is older than the United States of America. When John purchased this property and started building, George Washington was 6 years old. Thomas Jefferson wasn't born yet.
That is awesome. That's cool to think about.
Yeah.
Do we know much about John Drayton?
John Drayton is really a man of mystery. We do not have many records that survive from his life. We know he was born around 1715, died in 1779, fleeing the British. And in those intervening years, he amassed an empire that reached about 76,000 acres all over South Carolina and Georgia. And so this property, Drayton Hall, is really just the center of that plantation empire that he built. This house was constructed in the 1730s, 1740s, and then the family did very little to it in the intervening generations. And so the National Trust has decided to treat the house like an artifact, which means we don't try to restore it to a particular time period. We do work very hard to conserve all the original craftsmanship. So all of the hand-carved moldings are still there, handmade bricks, all of these things we're trying to protect. So when people come here, what they are looking at is the real artifact. This room in the 19th century was the dining room of Drayton Hall. So when this house was first built, we actually don't know what they were using the rooms for, and it was really common for them to use each room for several different functions. But in the 19th century, Charles Drayton actually drew a floor plan of his house, and he labeled some of the rooms, and he labeled this as the dining room. And this really makes sense for us because in this room you can actually see the spiral staircase that led down to the cellar where enslaved people prepared all the meals for the household, and then they would come up this staircase and directly into this room where they could serve meals. So the staircase continues all the way up to the attic today. This is how I get into the attic if I need to go up there and do anything. And so I can say from experience, these stairs are small. They're very narrow, it's dark. And so sometimes I imagine, what if I was carrying a plate of food or somebody's laundry or a full chamber pot up and down these stairs? So this is really part of the working heart of this house where enslaved people were moving through the house behind closed doors, but keeping the place going. This room also features a really kind of unusual open doorway. So there's this door here, but then there's this other one that's bricked up. We get a lot of questions about this. This is an original load-bearing brick wall. This has been a door to nowhere forever. So they actually just built this for symmetry. So they had a real door over here. They built a fake door on the other side. So you couldn't see the brick. They put a door in front of it, but it didn't go anywhere. And then it was removed. We think the Drayton family took it out so that they could just put a shelf here. But because it's gone, you can see some really strange things. So there's this decorative brickwork right here. We call this a diaper pattern. There's no reason for this to be here. It was totally hidden. So we think the mason was just practicing. He was trying a new skill in a place where you could mess up and it doesn't matter. So you can see fingerprints in this brick. There's 3 fingerprints in here. And so this survives in this brick because they were all handmade. So someone was forming the clay here and tempering it, and then they would put this clay into molds. And after it came out of a mold, someone had to stack all of these soft bricks to dry before they could be fired in a kiln. And so in that process of stacking those bricks, they're still soft enough that you could leave fingerprints in them. And so you can come to Drayton Hall and look very closely at all the bricks and find lots of examples of where people have literally left their mark on the building, and it survives 3 centuries later.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. This room has an original hand-carved plaster ceiling. So this plaster ceiling was created by someone laying on their back on scaffolding, carving this design out of wet plaster. And it survived from the 1740s with almost no intervention from us. So we're still studying the design of this ceiling. We're learning lots of things in this room. one of the mysteries that we're still trying to work out actually has to do with some strange carvings in between some of our windows over here. So if you look right here, see those carvings there? So there's carvings on that side and on the opposite side of this pier. So the space between the windows is called a pier. There would have been a mirror hanging here. They probably ordered it from London and waited months and months for it to arrive. And then when it got here, it didn't fit. So they made it fit. So this just makes me laugh when I see it, because it reminds me that people had really similar problems then as they do today. You ordered your mirror, you're really excited about it, it doesn't fit, and so you make it work. And that's exactly what's happening here. So we haven't seen this mirror, it doesn't survive that we know of, but we can trace these carvings and actually try to rebuild it based on these carvings, so we can have an idea what it looked like. To accommodate
for the mirror.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. So that kind of tells us more or less what the shape of it was.
Wow.
Because
Cool.
they had to jam it in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
There is a Drayton family growth chart that survives in the house. So the oldest entry we can find on here is from the 1880s, and it has been in continuous use since then. So you will see marks on here from recent years. The Drayton family still comes out to measure little family members on here. So April 8th, 1915, Miss Charlotta Drayton measured her dog Nipper and put Nipper on the growth chart. We have photos of Nipper. He was not a Great Dane, he was a Bull Terrier. So Nipper cheated. And we actually had the opportunity to talk to Miss Charlotta's nephew, Charlie Drayton, about Nipper the dog. And I asked him if Nipper was a biter, if that's how he got his name. And he was like, no, he was a nice dog. He doesn't know why she named him Nipper. But here you go. He's memorialized in the growth chart here. In the upper great hall right now, and you can see that it's a big empty space. We don't have any furniture in here, and that's because the furniture in our collection is very old, very well made. We want to take great care of it, but this house is unconditioned. There's no heat, there's no air conditioning. It's not a great place to take really good care of furniture like that. So you can see the Drayton furniture in our gallery on site, just not in the house. This blue-green paint that you see on the walls dates to 1870 or 1880, so it's post-Civil War, and we've actually done a ton of work to conserve it and keep it on the walls. So what we actually did was we borrowed a technique from the fine art conservation world. So we sprayed a solution onto the walls, and then we took sheets of Mylar and went foot by foot and pressed all of the paint into the wall. So it's totally invisible, doesn't have any sheen or anything, but it helps hold that original paint in place. And that's what a lot of our preservation work looks like here. We don't want you to notice all the things that we're doing to hold the line, basically, and keep everything as it was as much as possible. So it looks a little shabby, but it's the real deal. It's original, and we really like that about it.
That's cool. Do we know what kind of wood?
Yeah, they used a lot of different kinds of wood in the house. So the paneling is cypress, there's tulip poplar framing, there's oak, there's longleaf yellow pine. They used all kinds of different materials. They also imported stone from England. All the columns are Portland limestone. Glass probably all came from England. So they were bringing a lot of materials from all over the place. So we're often doing archaeology on the property as well. We have 2 full-time archaeologists on staff, and they are currently doing an excavation inside of the main house. We've got another excavation happening just outside of the house, and so if you come while they're working, they're happy to show you what's coming out of the ground.
And what are some of those things y'all discovered?
Some of the artifacts that we've seen recently include a megalodon tooth and ceramics. We've got pieces of the house like tiles that line the fireboxes, massive glass bottles that may have held gin or wine. So there's all kinds of very different things coming out of the ground. So Drayton Hall has a website that people can visit. You can purchase tickets online. We're open 6 days a week. And you can also engage with us on social media. We often share content on our Facebook and Instagram pages. We'll occasionally do a YouTube video. And we've been known to do live videos where people can tell me where they want to go in the house, and we'll look at whatever you want to look at in real time.
Hi everyone, what's up? I'm Ben Goss, and I'm coming to you from the North Augusta Living History Park here in North Augusta, South Carolina. And today, we're going to travel back into the 1700s. So come follow me as I take a journey through colonial times.
We're so glad to be able to host our Living History Colonial Times event. This time is the first time we've been able to do a full event since last October in Hurricane Helene. So we've got a lot of reenactors down here. They're also excited to be back in place as well. We've got tons of things for people to see. We've got interactive events, we've got stories and presentations, and we just got the immersiveness of our Living History Park. Now you may look around and see that we are still suffering from some of the damage from Hurricane Helene. We have some buildings that still need repairs, but North Augusta is a great partner of ours as well as a community, so we are progressing and moving forward with those repairs. We're not going to stop our events. In fact, we're going to have more events. We're going to keep coming back, and we should be fully ready to go for our full long weekend events by next year.
I'm here with Jean, and Jean is going to tell me what she's doing here with this spinning wheel.
It's a spinning wheel. And a spinning wheel, the only thing it does is adds twist to the fiber. I start out with fluffy, and it just twists and it becomes strong. That's all it does. And sometimes when I run out, I have to put in another piece. And that's where the magic occurs. You keep going. And when I get through with spinning this bobbin full, I have 2 bobbins and I will run 2 threads through. I'm spinning clockwise. So when I run 2 threads through, I spin counterclockwise.
Oh, wow.
And then I have yarn that is ready to be knitted, like this yarn here.
Cool.
So
that's what the final result is.
And then I can knit it. So it is very time consuming. And a lot of women would, they'd spin late at night after everybody had gone to bed, because she needed some peace and quiet. But you can spin because sometimes you don't have to look. It's muscle memory, and you can just spin, and it's kind of zen. It's very calming when it works right. But a lot of women would do that late at night. You know, a man may work from sun to sun, but a woman's work is never done. So she would spin at night because she had to spin every moment she got. And it's a task that you can stop and go stir the pot, start back up, stop, get little Hannibal out of the tree, start again, and you would spin whenever you had a moment.
Wow, so you could do it a little bit here, a little bit there.
A little bit here, a little bit there. And it took so long that's why you would spin every moment you had.
That's cool.
And it's very relaxing.
I bet.
I like to spin. I spin and watch television sometimes. I don't like to sit still and do nothing. So spinning is a good way Plus, it's very relaxing. It has that ancient rhythm to it.
I bet. I bet.
Plus, you're making something beautiful and utilitarian at the same time.
Right. Got something, you're making something beautiful?
But right now, I'm spinning so I can make Christmas presents. For maybe this Christmas.
There you go. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. Tell me here, real quickly, what do we have?
We are eating a baked whole pumpkin, and it is baked, and then the insides are scooped out and mixed with cream and butter and put back in and baked again.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Tell me a little bit more about what you have here.
What we have here is a vegetable tavern soup. It is a pot of different vegetable soup that was cooked at the tavern, a community dish, and fed to the various community. We have also roasted the pumpkin seeds because you do not want to waste anything.
Absolutely.
And yesterday we made fresh churned butter and baked bread earlier this morning.
That is awesome. So I'm going to try this, and you remind me what it is.
A baked pumpkin, so it's a pumpkin pudding.
Pumpkin pudding. Okay. Let's give it a shot here. That's really good.
Good. Would you
Those are good.
Would you like to try some vegetables too? It's more like a thicker.
Sure.
Okay.
I did not realize I would be eating here. So, never turn down the offer for food, you know.
But we heat the beehive oven up in the morning, very hot, and then we bake throughout the day, and then we reheat it again to bake for the evening.
That's awesome. That's really good.
Thank you.
That's good. That's good. The pumpkin's good. A little bit of sweet. It's not overwhelming.
Oh, good.
I mean, it's good. And the soup is very good.
Thank you. These are all original recipes from the 1700s. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you. Oh, I need to give you a question. So I'm here with the backwoodsman, and he's going to talk about this machine he's operating.
This is a foot treadle lathe. It is operated with a foot treadle.
Okay.
It's a big wheel, little wheel, belt, 2 points of connection. Put your piece of wood in, take and get it started. And then time it and get your foot on the foot treadle. And get it to a good speed, and then gently put the tool or gouge in there and start shaping the wood.
Now, did it take you a long time to learn how to do that and do it correctly?
With a foot treadle lathe, yes. Because you can't just put the gouge into it like a modern lathe. There's not enough torque or RPM.
Okay.
So it'll stop it like that.
Yeah, that's. And
then
I'm
it'll
sure
go
that would,
reverse.
dig into your wood, I'm sure.
Yes, and it can get aggravating and lose patience, but it takes a long time, but it's fun. I couldn't make a living doing this, that's for sure.
I bet.
But it is fun. Just restored it. Restored it, yeah.
What's Up is a departure from traditional advertising and marketing, offering a way to grow your business or enlarge your community event through visual strategies utilizing social media and television. Let us share you, your business, or event in a brand new light. Reach out to us today to discover how we can best serve you. Enjoy our content? Consider becoming a contributor today. Your support will help cover production costs and allow us to continue to bring quality content to your screen. Simply go to our website and hit the button at the top of the screen. As a thank you, your name will be featured in the closing credits of the show. Thank you for your support.
It was lived in by two prominent families in the 19th century. First the Woodruffs, then the Fontaine family, hence the title, Woodruff Fontaine House. The Woodruffs were here. They had the home built in 1871. They moved in 1871. They were only here till 1883. In 1883, the Fontaine family moved in. And the Fontaine family was here. Their time here in the mansion spanned close to 46 years. The death of the matriarch, Mrs. Virginia Fontaine, in 1928, that actually put an end to the home being a private residence. We're open Wednesday through Sunday from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m.
And people can go online and to purchase tickets?
They absolutely can go online to purchase tickets. They can come in the day of and purchase them right here in the mansion, or they can go online for their convenience. We offer both, and we take credit cards online, of course, credit cards and cash in the museum once you get here.
Awesome. What do you hope that guests take away after the tour?
I will tell you, the best thing for me is when our guests compliment with things such as, it is so beautiful, it looks as though someone's still living here. It is exquisite. I always get a really good feeling when people say, it looks like someone's living here, it's alive with beautiful furnishings. That is what I love, because I'm like, that's what we strive for. We stage the home as though the family is still here. Families that lived here, that they're still here, they're carrying out their daily routine. So people will get a sense of the hard work and the preservation efforts. It's not easy. I mean, honestly, it's not. It's run on a tiny staff and some volunteers. We wouldn't be here without volunteers. I started as a volunteer. So we like it when people compliment our hard work. We know it's paid off.